So today we're going to tie the green bean. It's a awesome wet fly, but I also use this as a attractor nymph pattern. One of my favorites. It's got a lot of different cool, unique things about it that make it just an awesome fly. So yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and start my thread, but instead of doing that, I forgot to apply lead. So go ahead and apply some thin lead, nothing thick. If you have flat lead tape, that might even work a little bit better. I'm just out right now. You know, and don't apply too much. Don't rub to the bead. Give yourself that space right there, and then go ahead and just pop that off. And now let's tie in real quick. Go ahead and tie in right behind the bead. Hold your tag end out, and then wrap really loosely all the way to the end of the lead. Bring that tag back on the other side, and give a few wraps right there. And what that does is that tag's going to lay over that lead because the lead's wrapped. So if you start trying to wrap through the lead, what you're going to notice is your thread wraps will slip through that lead. By running the tag back and forth like that, it kind of helps the thread wrap around the lead or on top of it instead of through it. So that's how you do that right there. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. Nope. Okay, right there. Perfect. Cool. So next what you want to do is go and get some black goose biots, and let's go and separate those. And these are really good biots. So I'm not gonna oppose these. Like usually you would pose, you would put the biots back to back, facing away from each other. I'm not gonna do that this time. I'm just gonna kind of hold them right there. Thread it back, and then spin your thread, tighten it up. Okay, there we go. Instead of doing that, I'm just gonna take them, and they're both facing the same way. I'm just kind of holding them one on top of each other. Sometimes this is a little bit more difficult way to do it, but it looks much better if you ask me. Yeah, come on. Well, dropped one. Okay. You know what? For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and face these. So you have your biots facing away from each other. Go ahead and just slip those over the hook, tie on the side. One loose turn. Right yonder. And then as you spin your thread around, they roll over and they form that perfect V tail, so you're good. Wrap up to, well, without missing your thread wraps and looking at the camera. Okay. Wrap up to the base of the lead. I'm going to just break those off. Toss them in your wastebasket. Cool. And then go ahead and tie in your black wire, and also the thread for this right here. I'm sorry, I forgot to say. This is UTC pre-waxed 70 in electric green. You can also use chartreuse. I've tied it both ways. I just like the way the electric green works better for the green bean. I think it gives it a little bit more to look at. I'm just going to hang that wire on my material holder right now. Now get you a peacock sword or a peacock eye, whatever you want to call it, and then grab one of these fibers right up here. I'm gonna get this one right there. Well, without breaking it off, grab another one and break it off right at the base. Cool. And then go ahead and tie that in. I'm going to tie it in right, break off as most brittle parts as you can until you almost can't grab it and break it off anymore. And then just kind of loosely tie that in, and then start to wrap up, touch and turns. And my dog's jumping all over all over my armchairs here. Okay, and put that in the material holder, and then go ahead and spin your body. Now you don't have to have any more vise for this. I just use it because if you're like me and you live in the United States, you're not used to the really nice fly shops that they have in the UK or in Ireland or Scotland. You're not going to be able to get a hold of floss, floss and silk and stuff like that you can get at the really nice fly shops overseas. If you want floss or silk, a lot of times in America, we have to order them online, or hopefully if you live in the Midwest, you can get the really cool fly tie materials. But being able to spin a body just out of using your thread can really be a useful technique if you can pick it up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and very carefully, I'm going to palmer this peacock herl almost as if it were hackle. You just got to kind of be gentle with it and be patient because it kind of wants to wrap. Sometimes it wants to slide down the body. There you go. I just kind of give it 1, 2, 3 wraps, and one in front. And before you trim, don't trim over your excess yet because the body can slide. That palmer herl can slide, and then tightly. And when I mean tightly, I mean really tightly. You want to wrap this black wire the opposite direction. And if you don't wrap it the opposite direction, you run the risk of having your herl unwind. There you go. And get a pair of old scissors, little small micro tip scissors I have. They're very dull, but I can use them to cut wire. Go ahead and do that. Okay, now this is a optional step, but I think it looks really cool. Get you some ostrich herl, just like this right here, and go ahead and go down to the bottom or somewhere around there, and break off a medium-sized piece. Cut the ends off. Strip away some of that stuff. Okay, and tie that in just like you would hackle. Trim away that excess piece. And then go ahead and wrap a couple wraps. Traditionally, this is not one of the things you would find on a green bean, but I like it. I saw it on a variant one time, and since then I just started adding it onto all of my flies. So what you have here is a partridge skin, Hungarian partridge, and you want to use these kind of white and black mottled feathers, just on the shoulders almost, right there. Don't get a big one. Kind of get the smaller ones, but try to prevent having some brown in it. So go ahead and separate the feather just like that. Go ahead and pull, exposing the tip, and tie that in right there on the side. There we go. That's better. What happened a second ago was the tip came out. Fold it back. There we go. There we go. And then give it a couple wraps. There we go. Only takes 2. Sometimes even 1, depending on the feather. There we go. kind of untwist them a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the green bean. Well, left a little bit on there, didn't I? Alright. Sometimes if you leave a little bit of the root in, you can take your fingers and just kind of run it behind the bead. There it goes. Green bean. Great fly. Looks great in the water, especially. Once the chartreuse gets wet, that stuff looks amazing. Well, chartreuse, electric green, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but once you get that stuff wet, it looks really cool. I've caught tons of brown trout on this fly. You know, especially brookies too. I think brookies trigger toward these colors, these more non-natural, colorful flies. You know, chartreuse, your fluorescent oranges, pink, bright, super bright neon yellow. I think brook trout really respond well to that kind of coloring. So, yeah, good small stream fly. Really like it. Sometimes I'll even use this right here as a mid fly in a dropper, and then drop a midge off the back of this, just because of the way it's shaped, the amount of webbiness and action this soft hackle gives it, and with the multicolored makeup of the body, trout love it. I mean, sometimes they'll come out and just, you know, just to bring them in close to see a midge, you know, it's good enough for them. So anyway, have a good one.
The preacher man says it's the end of time, and the Mississippi River, she's a